Welcome to Bay Focus. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, it is that time of the year. Spring is a lot of activity time. People just gearing up for events coming up, and this program today is going to tell you about a couple of those that you can partner with and get involved with to expand the kingdom of God here in Central Florida. And one of those is the annual Walk for Life, New Life Solutions. We're going to tell you about that. They are saving babies, a pro-life movement and a pro-life organization throughout Central Florida here. And then also Brown Ministries is back. Robert Blount is here, and he is just awesome to talk to. We are so thrilled to find out what's going on with Brown Ministries, and they have their annual Brown Legacy Golf Tournament coming up too. So some fun yet exciting and fundraising activities that keep the ministries going. So we want you to get involved. We're going to start today with New Life Solutions, and we have with us the president and CEO of New Life Solutions, Saul Pitchon. And you brought with us Gail Friedman Barrett, who runs all the events. You coordinate all the events. You coordinate the Walk for Life. You do a lot of different things there at New Life Solutions. I think anybody that's been there, even to the birthing center and everything, knows Gail. She's been a real important part of it. And first of all, Saul, before actually, let me reverse it. Let me throw it to Gail, since you're so immersed in the Walk for Life. We're going to talk about New Life Solutions in a moment, but give us the specifics on the Walk for Life this year, Gail.
Walk for Life is an annual fundraising event, but it's a celebration of life, and it's a time when Christians can come together and make a difference, proactively do something to help save babies. You know, we have so many churches that are pro-life, pro-family in our community, but they promote the walk, and their people come out and they pick up a pledge form like this.
Yeah, she's going to hold
and
up.
And they raise pledges, and our walk is Saturday, May 7th. It's always the day before Mother's Day. You know, what a great way to honor your mother and thank her for the gift of your life than to pick up a walk pledge form or go online, iwalkforlife.com, raise pledges online. You don't have to collect money. And you know, last year we had 1,100 pledge-raising walkers. We have 4 walk sites, 3 in Pinellas and 1 in Tampa at South Tampa Fellowship. They walk along Bayshore. It's beautiful. And we have 1 in Largo, 1 in Countryside Christian Center up in Clearwater, and then another one at North Shore Park in St. Pete. So there's really no reason to not come on out that day and join thousands of Christians that come out to save
boy,
lives.
Our weather holds here. It's looking like, you know, it's just a beautiful time of the year to have it. Yeah, but one of the things, Saul, I'm going to switch to you here a little bit too, because for our viewers that may be just tuning in and for the first time hearing what is New Life Solutions, this is something that you literally have hundreds and hundreds of people come out for fundraising because you're doing the work, and explain the work that you do.
Well, New Life Solutions, we've been around since 1985, and we are a family of ministries, of very pro-life family of ministries, from intervention to prevention and to the birth center. We have a lot of outreaches. But the main focus, though, Darlene, is that we focus on saving babies, saving souls, reaching teens, and transforming lives. And that's the essence of what we do with our myriad of outreaches. And with Walk for Life, that is a focus right now, this time of the year, to raise money for our 5 pregnancy centers. We have 3 over here in Pinellas County, 2 over in Tampa, and with that, our focus is to provide all these free services. And last year, we distributed nearly 20,000 diapers and a total of over nearly $500,000 worth of free medical services, counseling, sonograms, and the diapers. And that's why we do the Walk for Life, is to impact, is to be able to raise the money, impact our community, and really reach this generation that's really hurting. And
well, you know, you use the term, and we're so used to using this term, but again, sometimes I don't think we clearly define it. Pro-life, let's just say what it is, you're trying to keep babies from being aborted.
Yes.
This is an abortion issue.
We do. We do. We're there to educate, encourage, and equip women and couples and families to choose life, to either parent or place for adoption. And over the years, there's been literally thousands and thousands of babies that have been saved. We've documented around 8,000 babies. We know it's 2 to 3 times more than that. Because many times the women don't come back. But we hear about it a year later, 2 years later, 10 years later, that they did choose life. And then the number of salvations, and that's really our focus. Our focus is sharing the gospel. We're all about evangelism, and we share the gospel throughout our ministries, our family of outreaches, and with the walk again, and helping moms choose life. You share with them the options of life, but you're also sharing with them the creator of life, and letting them know that the faith that many of them don't have, they can have. And those who have walked away from the faith, they come back to it. So it's an outreach that is making a difference, impacting our community, and even post-abortion. Oh, there's so many women and men.
You just took the words out of my mouth. I wanted to say you offer support to those that have even, I mean, this is like you're not heaping judgment on women. You're trying to help them, including if they're walking in with this great weight and burden.
It truly is. Even right now, not just to women. We have a men's group going on right now at our Tarpon Springs Center. And a lot of people don't realize there's a number of men for nearly 60 million abortions, 10 times worse than the Holocaust that my mother and father went through in World War II. And so here we've got all these men and women who are hurting, and many of them in our churches. So our focus is going into the church and helping them. Well, the funds that are raised in the Walk for Life, they help every aspect of client services, and post-abortion, or abortion recovery we call it now, is part of that process. So that way we are able to really meet the needs, to help these women and men receive God's forgiveness and be set free to be all they've been called to be.
Well, I'm going to do a quick shout out here to some of the areas, as you've talked about in general, but you actually do pregnancy support, single mother housing.
We do.
Abortion grief recovery. We've talked about prenatal care and childbirth, perinatal loss, help, abstinence education, all of this. And one of the things too I like to always bring up when because you work with I love your More to Life program for young people, going in and talking to young people and helping them make good choices before anything hits. But also the birthing center, because that's open to the public, right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, do you want to address that?
Yeah, the birthing center is open to the community, and we are staffed by a wonderful team of Christian certified nurse midwives, and anyone can come and use their services. We have women that come through, have their babies there the way they want to. We have 3 beautiful birth suites. About 80% of the women choose to use the water tubs, and they bring their families. It's just wonderful.
Water birth.
And they come back. When they're pregnant the next time, they come back. And they've come from far away. I mean, they find us, they come to us, they love us. It's a wonderful, wonderful outreach. And it was formed to provide a continuum of care for our clients that choose to go there, and also to provide an income stream for the ministry.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
on the same campus.
And it's a beautiful center, and they can come, they can start getting prenatal care there even before the birth, everything. So it's just really a whole, the whole thing. I mean, they can come.
It's a great outreach to the community, because we're able to minister to those that are non-believers.
Yes.
And the Muslim community, Scientologists, we minister to them while providing those wonderful services. And then, of course, those women who have crisis pregnancy, who choose to have choose life and then have their babies with us over at the birth center. So you're right. I mean, it's like from prevention, that's what I was sharing yesterday, prevention to intervention, to residential, to medical, to the whole gamut. So we have a comprehensive approach to reaching women and teens in today's society.
Okay, we're just about out of time. Year round, and we're gonna go and show a video now coming up in just a moment, and that really tells the story too of the Walk for Life and everything coming up. Give us although I think the video tells the dates and everything. So let me ask you a different question. What about year round? How can our viewers help you year round? How can they partner with you?
Well, first of all, we found that $1,200 really helps us save a baby. And if so, our viewers could look at that and pray and seek the Lord as to how many babies they would like to help save. And then also know that that $1,200 is going into some of the other aspects of what we do, just like prevention, going out into the schools. We've spoken to over almost 130,000 students in our abstinence program. And again, that falls under that part of our budget. And Walk for Life helps for that, helps provide the funding for it. So that's the thing they can do, and you know, to help us you know, meet the needs of the folks that we deal with, and we need the funds to do it. We provide all these services free. And so
there's always a place for always a need. Okay, we're going to end.
No gift too small, no gift too large.
And every walker counts in helping us save lives.
Every walker counts.
That's terrific. Okay, thank you both for coming on. Love having you both on. And then now we're going to take a look at a video that shows you right up close the Walk for Life and gives you a few testimonies here too as well. So many lives saved, so many babies, so many women and men's lives changed and couples. And let's take a look at the annual Walk for Life.
I didn't know what to do when I found out that I was pregnant. I considered the option of terminating the pregnancy because I was scared. When I came to the center, I felt very comforted. I knew that I had help. I attended all of the classes that they offered, as many as I could attend. When I first held Bella, I can't express the joy that went through my heart. I was so happy she was healthy. I'm very grateful for everything that the center has done for us. I want more women to know, especially young girls and women that have made mistakes, to know that it's okay, that there's someone there for you. I know that I have the most beautiful baby in the world, and I know that Bella was meant to be. I know that her father and I made the right decision in keeping Bella. I know that she's perfect.
Can you turn down the fact that you're helping somebody out, helping a mother to make a good choice, and just to preserve life?
We're out here because our son's life was saved through the ministry.
Come walk with me.
Walk with me.
Walk away.
Walk with life.
We walk to save babies and save souls.
Come walk with us. Woo! Come walk with us. Woo!
I know your steps will matter in helping save souls, save babies, and transforming lives. Look forward to seeing you at this year's Walk for Life event, because every life matters. God bless you, and see you there.
Well, that gives you a look at the annual Walk for Life. Hope you'll get involved in what a great event that is for whole families to go to. Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit now and tell you about another ministry across the bay, but they reach all across the state of Florida, and that is Blount Ministries, and they minister to our prisoners and in prison, out of prison, prisoners' families, ex-offenders. They are very comprehensive program as well. And they are having their upcoming 5th annual A. Brown Legacy Tournament. And we have with us today Robert Blount, who is the president and CEO of A. Brown Ministry. Thank you so much for coming on with us. And we love having you periodically. Robert, you come and fill us in, and you're so active. And you know what, A. Brown, obviously I'm going to let you explain it, but was your father-in-law, you know, the late Abe Brown, and started this ministry, but you have just picked up the baton and you were working side by side with him. And before we get into some details on the ministry, I'd like to start out the interview talking about the fundraiser. You have this is a big thing you do every year. Tell us a little bit about the golf tournament specifics.
So we're quickly approaching June 4th, which is our 5th annual A. Brown Legacy Golf Tournament out at Innisbrook Resort. The Copperhead Golf Course, which was newly renovated. Wow. And obviously just got a lot of publicity because of the Valspar Championship.
Yeah, it's a big, well-known.
That takes place out there. So we're excited about it. This is our 5th year. We've had a full field of golfers every year, about 120 golfers. We're already at about 80.
Wow.
So time is ticking down to go ahead and get your foursome registered for the tournament.
Yeah, okay, and we will talk about that again in a moment, but it benefits some specific programs you have, but give us the overview of A. Brown Ministries. I know we have some new viewers that may not be familiar with you.
Well, Reverend Brown spent 38 years of his life in Hillsborough County school system as an educator, as a coach, and as an administrator, and picked up a newspaper one Saturday morning and read where one of his former football players had been charged with the murder of a cab driver. And he went to see this young man in the county jail, and it was really there that Reverend Brown, then Coach Brown, was convicted that perhaps he had taught all these young men how to play football, but could have done more to teach them how to live a responsible, accountable life. And so every day after school, he'd go back to visit this young man and discovered that there were more and more young men perhaps who either knew of him or that he knew of or had coached. And just committed his life at that point to just share the gospel with those who are incarcerated. So even now, the cornerstone of what we do is traveling throughout the state of Florida and sharing the gospel with men and women who are incarcerated in Florida's prisons. Yeah. So on the 2nd and 4th Saturdays of every month, we load up the bus with a team of volunteers. We go in, we have a worship service. We have someone to, minister music. We have someone to preach and teach the word. We open the doors of the church, extend an invitation for people to give their lives to Christ, and then we follow up with those individuals to the best of our ability throughout their incarceration. So that's the cornerstone, really, of A. Brown Ministries over the last, coming up on 40 years. 40
years, wow. Literally a legacy, I mean, literally. Well, one of the things, you do a number of things at the ministry. I'm just going to give it for the sake of time. You do clothing and furniture, the crusades that you mentioned, family restoration, family reunification, food for life pantry, transitional living. I mean, you don't just stop and go and visit them in the prisons. You're doing so many things. And then you're involved in the Ready for Work program. But for this particular tournament, before I ask you any more, is targeting the family reunification program and the food for life pantry. Explain those two.
Well, I'll start with the Food for Life Pantry. On the last 2 Fridays of every month, we distribute food to anywhere from 225 to 250 food insecure households. We've been doing that for many, many years. And then the family reunification piece is, even this afternoon, we'll have about a dozen families, maybe 16 kids, who will come to our office and they will visit with their incarcerated parents live via video this afternoon. And so it really is about maintaining that bond between that incarcerated parent and the child that's left behind. And at the end of the day, regardless of what mom has done, regardless of what dad has done, that's still mom, that's still dad. Yeah. And so maintaining that bond, really, one, it helps that incarceration period for that parent be a little easier. Yeah. We've been told by prison officials that it reduces bad behavior because these parents look forward to seeing their children on Monday, so they don't want to do anything that's going to get them in trouble. But one thing is for sure, and that is we have found that maintaining that bond when these individuals return back to the community and reintegrate back with their family, having those relationships and play goes a long way. Not to mention that hopefully it prevents that next generational cycle of incarceration to be prevented as well.
That is terrific. Now, one of the things that you are very much involved in coming up too, and there's an event this month, is the Hillsborough Ready for Work program. Now, that's a statewide program. Explain the program, but you're the Hillsborough County contact and director of that.
Correct.
Explain what you do.
We, as I said before, we travel inside the prisons, right, and we share the gospel with those individuals. But most of those men and women are going to return back to the community at some point. And so we have to be able to complement that message of hope with tangible opportunities for these men and women to live out their freedom in Christ and also to live out their freedom in society. And so in 2014, we replicated a nationally acclaimed program called Ready for Work. Here locally, we call it Ready for Work Hillsborough. And it really is a reentry program to prepare men and women to reenter the workforce. And so it's a 12-month commitment. They are partnered with a case manager who helps them with a plan of care. They're required to be in class 4 to 6 weeks, just depending upon their ability to commit, to learn 29 key elements, we call it, from just basic life skills, job readiness, conflict resolution, how to dress, all those things. We prepare them for interviews, take them through mock interviews, prepare their resume. There's an aptitude testing piece in that. That's not a pass or fail, but so that we can assure the employers that we work with where these individuals are.
Well, that was one of the things I was saying. And then you partner with some employers if they've gone through your program.
And that's a critical piece because we aren't approaching these employers with a charitable ask. We are actually approaching them with a value proposition, which is, we're going to send you a vetted, qualified through skills and work experience candidate who's drug-free and ready to add value to your business. And so we want to make good matches in that way.
Oh, that's terrific. All right, you have a specific event coming up for that program this month.
We do. One of the components of the Ready for Work Hillsborough program is life coaches. And so National Reentry Week begins April 24th through the 30th. And on the 28th, Thursday, April 28th, we're going to have a life coach open house there at our ministry where people who are interested can learn more about the program. They can also sign up to be a life coach so that we can match our clients with a life coach.
Yeah, I love that idea. I just think that is such a great thing to do. All right, give us the specific, this is ongoing. You have needs year-round. That's the one thing I want to encourage people, our viewers, to. This is even though we're bringing up certain events, there are opportunities year-round for you to roll up your sleeves, volunteer, donate finances, whatever you can do. But tell us specifically again the tournament specifics, and we're going to go into it again in just a moment. But the neat thing about this, you've also, and we're going to see one of those in the video, you've had a lot of professional athletes over the years with this, right?
Yeah, it really is neat. Our golf tournament has been hosted for the last 5 years by Anthony Booger McFarland, two-time Super Bowl champion. And one of the things I like about Booger is, it's not just, here, let me lend you my name. He really gets in the trenches and helps us knock on doors and secure sponsorships, et cetera.
Wow,
one thing I can't convince him to do because of his competitive spirit is not play in the tournament.
That's great. You just say, go knock on the doors, but we don't need you here in the tournament. Well, see, that's a fun part of it, is everybody coming and being competitive. And but yeah, that's kind of that's a hook to get people to come to the tournament. They can meet some, professional athletes and different people, All right, so that's coming up on, was it June 4th, right?
June 4th, yep.
Okay, well, we're going to look at that again in just a moment, but I want to thank you, Robert, so much for coming on the program today, and I'm just always so impressed with A. Blount Ministries, what you guys are doing. It takes the grace of God for 40 years.
Amen.
It takes His provision.
Amen.
And it takes a commitment to the least of these.
Absolutely.
The Bible
we don't
says
take any of those things for granted.
You have the in-reach and the outreach, is what you like to call that.
Yes.
In the walls and outside the walls. But I want to address our viewers for just a moment too, because this program today, we've talked to you about the Walk for Life. We're talking to you now about the A. Blount Legacy Golf Tournament. But also there's a big event coming up on May 5th that is a national event. It's called the National Day of Prayer. And there's a couple of local events too that each year we tell you about. One of them's in Tampa. We're just going to go on both sides of the bay. And that's at Steinbrenner Stadium. Starts at 7 o'clock p.m. A number of churches, there's always music, there's prayer from multiple pastors, organizations. Let's fill the Steinbrenner Stadium with people that want to pray for our nation and our communities. And then also, you have, I believe it's at the same time, and I'm going to check my notes here, at 7 o'clock p.m. Also, it's called Wake Up America, inspirational service at Bright House Field in Clearwater, and it's for the National Day of Prayer. Again, that's Thursday, May 5th at 7 o'clock p.m. at Bright House Field in Clearwater. And I know there are other things that happen. I know there's prayer in the courthouse in Tampa. I know last year there was one that was specifically in South St. Pete. So just check with your local, your pastors, your churches, but those are two that have stadiums that we really would like to see the people of God come out and be a part of and pray. A lot of the ministries that you've seen here on Bay Focus over the years will participate in those two events, Steinbrenner Field and Bright House Field. So those would be great ones to attend. So I just want to encourage you, and then also, you know, for the A. Brown Legacy Tournament and the Walk for Life. But right now, we're going to take a break, and we're going to show you a little bit more about the A. Brown Legacy Golf Tournament coming up.
What's up, Tampa Bay? This is your boy, Booger McFarland. I want to personally invite you to join me for the 5th annual A. Brown Legacy Golf Tournament on Saturday, June 4th at the all-newly renovated Copperhead course at Innisbrook. All proceeds benefit A. Brown Ministries Family Reunification Program and Food for Life Pantry. Registration is open now. If you love golf as much as I do, you don't want to miss a continental breakfast, a chance to win a 3-year Cadillac lease from Dimmitt Automotive Group, lunch sponsored by Glory Days, a silent auction, premium golfer gifts, and more. To register your foursome or become a sponsor, visit www.abrown.org and come join me and all my friends for the 5th annual A. Brown Legacy Golf Tournament at Innisbrook Resort and Spa.
Well, we've shown you a couple of events today. Again, the annual Walk for Life with New Life Solutions, locations both in Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, Largo, all throughout there, and that is Saturday, May 7th. Which is, of course, Mother's Day weekend. What a great time to have that. And then June 4th, the golf tournament for A. Brown, 5th Annual A. Brown Legacy Golf Tournament. I also want to talk to you, too. One of the things that we really like to see our viewers here for Bay Focus engage more with our social media that we have available to you here at CTN. I suggest you to go ctnonline.com, and see what we're doing. But also a real quick way to access all the social media. That's YouTube, Facebook. Also, our online is to go to CTN Online, www.ctnonline.com/BayFocus. If you do that, you're going to be able to access my YouTube channel, our Facebook, and other news items for Bay Focus. Wanted to hear from you. See you next week.